First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the whole four elect, a few men, women, and children that believe in this word. This is your brother Karat Zabad coming at you again with another lesson. This one is entitled, Behold, I make all things new. And those of us in this truth who are part of who are Hebrew Israelites, and we consider ourselves part of the remnant, but we say the hopeful elect, the chosen, that will be beamed up on the day of the Lord into the spaceship with Yahushai. We look forward to Yahushai coming back down upon the earth, bringing the kingdom of heaven down upon the earth, and behold, making all things brand new in righteousness. You see, new air, new water, good food. Also, as well, we're going to have the other nations. They're going to build up the kingdom down here on earth. They're going to be our slaves pursuant to Isaiah 14, starting first and foremost with you Edomites, the so-called white man, the devil. And the Hebrew Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in Babylon, America, and scattered throughout the world like the sand of the seashore. But only a remnant is going to get saved on this side, 1/3 here in Babylon, America, and select elect throughout the world. And it's going to happen via the chariots and the big gigantic chariot of Yahushai that these devils are seeing in the sky, all right? They've seen a chariot that was almost half the size of the sun. So the chariot that Yahushai is in is very gigantic. It's going to be able to cover the whole earth. So let's begin with Revelation 21 and verse 1. And this is John the Revelator. He was the last apostle living, and he was exiled on the island of Patmos circa 95 AD. He was a very old man, around 95, 96 years of age. And these are the visions that he's seen. Now, this, of course, has not happened yet, but he's seen the visions of the coming kingdom with Yahushai in the elect. Let's begin with Revelation 21 and verse 1, and it says, And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Now, when it says new heaven and a new earth, it's speaking of a new heaven and new earth, stoked in righteousness. So the earth right now currently is under what? The rulership of the Edomites, okay? The so-called white man. And right now it's a very corrupt and wicked earth. Men with men, women with women, okay? Pedophilia, sex trafficking, all types of manner of wickedness is here in Babylon, America. Like I said, the bad air, the bad food. This devil has even made it where he's made false meat in a laboratory, all right? So there's no end to this devil's wickedness. So when Yahushua comes back down, it's going to be what? A new heaven and a new earth, because this devil has contaminated the skies as well as contaminated the earth here where we're at currently. Let's get a definition of that word new real quick. Just to piggyback on that, it says here, this is the Hebrew translation of the word new.
Strong's G 2537, kainos. Kainos.
And it says here, new, as respects form, recently made, fresh. So when Yahushua comes, he's going to refresh the earth, okay? We're not going to get literally a new heaven and a new earth, but it's going to be a refreshing based on righteousness. It says recent, unused, unworn, as respects substance of a new kind, unprecedented, novel, uncommon, unheard of. Because right now, righteousness upon the whole planet Earth is unheard of. This place is totally wicked, and all the other countries have drinking of the wine of the fornication of Babylon, America. So what's coming is going to be a new thing, an uncommon thing, unheard of. total righteousness under the leadership of Yahushua, King David, the 144,000 servants, and the rest of the elect, known as the remnant on this side. So the first 1,000 years of Yahushua's rulership will be based on getting everything back in order. And you heathen nations are going to go in slavery. You're going to be taught righteousness. But the Edomites, you're going to go in slavery. You're going to get a double portion for all the wickedness you have done. And then you're going to be exterminated via fire. And that's in Obadiah. But let's go back to, let's read this again, if we may. Revelation 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So we're looking forward to that. And like I said, for the most part, the kingdom is going to be rebuilt, okay? Or should I say it's going to be built by you heathen nations. You're going to build up the kingdom here, okay, that's going to come down from heaven upon the earth. And we're going to tell you how to do it, okay? How to get the resources, the building materials. So get ready for slavery. Let's read verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their God. All right, so Yahushua and Yahweh are going to come down here from the heavens, and we're going to be able to be in the midst of them because the elect are going to have the new bodies, the incorruptible bodies, because right now in this present state, we can't be in the presence of Yahushua or Yahweh or the angels, all right? Because these carnal wicked bodies that we're in, now we're doing our best to what? Rehearse the righteous acts, all right? Pray without ceasing, walking in the spirit, calling on Yahweh and Yahushua, and we have this treasure in earthen vessels in which we've been born again in the spirit, but we still have these carnal, weak bodies that are subject to go off. But we do the best that we can, okay, in these bodies, but they're wicked. We're still in carnal flesh. Like Yahushua said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Let's read Revelation 21 and verse 4. And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, meaning the remnant first here on this side, all right? The 1/3 here in Babylon, America, and select elect throughout the world are going to go up on this side. And then the 2/3 of our people that don't want to hearken to this word, that are stiff-hearted, that don't want to repent, and truth and sincerity, that don't want to call on Yahweh the Most High or Yahushua, they're going to be born in the kingdom as the children of the elect. Let's read this again. And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right, so we're not going to go through any more pain. We're not going to go through police brutality. We're not going to go through the last one hired, first one fired, being profiled. All right, we're not going to go through that. We're not going to go through liquor stores all through our neighborhoods. You see, churches on every corner, but they don't know what this truth is really about. So we're not going to go through any of that anymore. All right, there's going to be no more single moms, no more big Shirleys. That's not going to be in the kingdom. So he says, behold, I make all things new. So it's going to be stoked in righteousness, and we're not going to be able to go off because we're going to have the new covenant, the laws, statutes, and the commandments in our inward parts. Let's read verse 5. And it reads, and he that sat upon the throne said, this is Yahushua, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. So we're looking forward to Yahushua coming back down to make all things new, to refresh the earth in righteousness. Let's get 2nd Esdras chapter 6, if I can. Let's see here. We got 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 7, because right now the earth is in the hand of the wicked, all right? But His power is steadily slipping every day, Esau. So his power is slipping. The curses that were put upon us in Deuteronomy 28, from 15 on down to 68, they are being released from us, and they're being put on Esau little by little. You see? So he only has but a very short time. That's why they are moving fast with the ICE agents, okay, with Jacob's trouble really kicking off, with the them trying to speed up the chaos, because they have to bring the chaos to make order out of chaos. And the main component of making order out of chaos is what? Revelation 13 and verse 16, trying to get everybody chipped up so he can try to be like God. So Second Esdras, let's get it. Second Esdras 6 and verse 7. We have Second Esdras 6 and verse 7, and it reads, it says here, then answered I and said, this is the prophet Ezra, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, of these times, the end of these times? Or when shall be the end of the first, okay, Esau and rulership, in the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, Yahweh said unto Ezra, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. We know that Jacob's name means it means what? The supplanter. So even when Jacob and Esau were in the womb of Rebekah, they were fighting in the womb. And we know Esau came out first, but this symbolizes here Jacob holding the heel of Esau. He's going to bring, Esau is going to be coming down, and we're going to be going up. We got next. And this verse says it all. Second Esdras 6 verse 9, for Esau, so-called white man, the devil, our adversary, is the end of the world, okay, this age. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, the age stoked in righteousness under the rulership of Yahushai. Let's go to 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 10. I'm sorry. I got the wrong. Is that the right? I got the wrong. Sorry about that. Maybe it's 1 Peter. I don't know why I got that. 2 Peter. Let's see if I can find it. I screwed it up. I'm sorry about that. I believe it's 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. 2 Peter 3 and verse 10. It says, a new heaven and earth. And it reads, verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. And that's going to be via the nuclear missiles from Russia and the other nations on the day of the Lord, mostly being shot over here to Babylon, America. So it's going to burn this place up, and it's going to be desolate, and it's going to make a big, gigantic, great noise, and it's going to be fervent heat. Let's read verse 11. Peter says this, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved via nuclear missiles, as well as the laser fire from the chariots of the Lord, also helping in the burning of Babylon, America, which is going to be a lake of fire. Let's read it again. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So we should be trying to what? Be holy, like Yahweh is holy, and like Yahushua is holy, to the best of our ability. Okay? Our conduct, our manner of living should be stoked in holiness and righteousness to the best of our ability, because we're in a carnal body. We're gonna go off every now and again, but do your best. We have the name of Yahweh. You have Yahushua. You can pray in those names. You can ask for assistance. Okay, the angels are rooting for you to come through. Okay, to be beamed up in that spaceship. So we have those tools that we can use. We can read scriptures, which give us comfort, so on and so forth. Let's read this again. 2 Peter 3 and verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in? All holy conversation and godliness. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, the promise of Yahweh, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So everything is going to be made new, okay, in righteousness. Let's read verse 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things in the hope for elect, we are looking for such things. Be diligent, make every effort, okay, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot, and blameless. Okay, try to live pure lives, be holy like he's holy, to the best of our ability. Let's go to Revelation 3 and verse 11. Another precept, Revelation 3, and we have here verse 11, and it reads, it says, behold, I come quickly. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. It's in the red. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So he's going to be coming soon. Everything is being set up. We're on the cusp of Jacob's trouble, the beginning stages, and it's only going to get worse from here. People are losing jobs. Eventually that will lead to what? A famine of food, the grocery shelves being emptied, race riots, civil war, people killing, stealing, robbing, pestilence, people dying like dung on the streets, so on and so forth. Esau going around like a madman, sparing none. We're seeing the beginning stages of that now, where they're paying these devils to join ICE, to give them a bonus, as well as they're getting paid $1,000 for each person that they can bring in. So they're also what? They're also bringing in citizens who are American citizens who aren't immigrants. They're also coming after the tribe of Judah as well. So this devil is about to turn up. So we have to turn up, those of us, the men of the Lord, by doing more lessons, continue going out on the highways and byways until the Lord brings about the famine of the word. And that's a reference in what? Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. So we have to hold fast to the crown. All right. That's why he said, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast, that no man take thy crown. So we have to what? Gird up the loins of our mind. Be sober, be clear-minded, so on and so forth. Revelation 3 and verse 11 says, him that overcometh, Yahweh Shai is still speaking, will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, which we know as Yahweh, in the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God Yahweh, and I will write upon him my new name, which we know as what? Yahweh Shai. Let's go to Zechariah 13 and verse 8. Because we have to be made brand new as far as new bodies. We have to be cleansed in order to be in the presence of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the angels, so on and so forth. Zechariah 13, and let's get verse. We have Zechariah 13 and verse 8, and it reads, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, so when it says in all the land, it's speaking of Babylon, America, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So the 2 parts that are going to be cut off and die, that are going to be cut off and die, are the 2/3 of our people that are not going to hearken to this word, that don't believe in this word, that don't believe in Yahweh, that don't believe in Yahweh Shai, that want to continue thinking that everything is fine. All right. But when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them. And many of our people can't even pick up on what's going on with Donald J. Trump. Many of them are like, oh, it's just a phase. It'll pass. No, we're at the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other. And if you're not supping, which means to be, if you're not being intimate with the Lord, with Yahweh Shai, with your manner of conduct, with doing your best to stand in righteousness and rehearse the righteous acts, you're not going to be protected in these times we're coming into. Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. So these scriptures have to be embedded in our heads to get us through the times that we're coming into. Some of us will be beheaded for this truth and made witnesses, but you're going to receive a crown. You're going to be beamed up first. Like it says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, those who have died in the faith, roughly paraphrasing, are going to be beamed up first. And they're going to meet those who are here standing on the earth, who are part of the elect in the sky, and be beamed up together into the chariot of Yahushua. All right? Let's continue. Zechariah 13 and verse 9. This illustrates my point. And I will bring the third part, the 1/3 here in Babylon, America, through the fire. The fire is what? Also representing the nuclear bombs coming from Russia and the other nations that are going to make Babylon, America into a lake of fire. But the 1/3 here in Babylon, America are going to go through the fire. Okay? So let's read it again. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say it is my people. So the Lord has a certain group of people that he's messing with, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans here in Babylon, America, and scattered throughout the world like the sand of the seashore. But only the elect, the remnant, 1/3 are going to be saved on this side. Let's read this part again. I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord, Yahweh, is my God. All right, so that's illustrative of the 1/3 being beamed up and getting the new bodies, getting the new covenant pursuant to Hebrews 8 and 8 and Jeremiah 31 and 31, getting the new covenant within our inward parts where we won't be able to go off. Let's go on to 1 Corinthians 15. We have 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and let's get verse 50. 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 50, and it says here, now this I say, brethren, this is Paul speaking, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. So these bodies have to be changed to be in the presence of the Lord Yahweh, Yahushua, and the angels, and to be in the kingdom. Verse 51 says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. All right, so some of us are going to die in the faith. Some of us are going to be martyrs, get beheaded, all right, for this truth. But the majority of us are going to be saved and get through and be standing when Yahushua comes on the day of the Lord and beams up the elect into that spaceship. Let's read it again. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Those that died in the faith and those that are here standing on the day of the Lord. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, that quick, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Okay? So these bodies are going to be changed dramatically. Okay? With the quickness. Verse 53 says this, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality, the new bodies. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. We know Yahushua was the first to get the what? To get the victory over death, to get the new body. Verse 55 says, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? So let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And we have here let's read verse 1. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 1 says this, Paul speaking again, for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle, all right, so we're in this earthly body, okay, which is really wicked and carnal and It dies. We're going to die eventually. We hope that we can be beamed up on this side because we're very, very close to Yahweh Shai coming. Now, a couple things have to happen preceding him coming, but we're very, very close. Let's start again. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, an house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan, these earthly bodies, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. So these bodies are weak. Our eyesight goes bad, our hearing goes bad. We lose our hair, our teeth fall out. We got aches and pains. So we want that new, heavenly, eternal body that Yahweh Shai has. Lord willing, we're part of the elect. Let's read 2 Corinthians 5, verse 3. Let's get that in the NLT. And it says, for we will put on heavenly bodies. We will not be spirits without bodies. So we're going to have these bodies that we have, but we're going to have that eternal power that Yahweh Shai has. The spirit and the body combined, but we're going to be what? We're going to live forever. The 1/3 on this side, and then the 2/3 of our people that have not hearkened, they're going to come back in the kingdom as the children of the elect. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 4, the NLT. While we live in these earthly bodies, we groan inside. But it's not that we want to die and get rid of these bodies that clothe us. Rather, we want to put on our new bodies so that these dying bodies will be swallowed up by life, the eternal life. Let's go to, let's continue. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 5, the NLT. Yahweh himself has prepared us for this. And as a guarantee, he has given us his Holy Spirit. So those of us who are part of the elect, we have the Holy Spirit working with us, this treasure in earthen vessels, guiding us right now, giving us the spirit of discernment, getting our minds ready for what's coming. All right, it's also going to guide us through the times we're about to come into, the perilous times. Jacob's trouble, a time like no other. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 6, let's get that. So we are always confident, even though we know that as long as we live in these bodies, we are not at home with the Lord. So we are hastening the coming of Yahweh Shai. So like he says, we're looking forward to him making all things new and receiving those new bodies, and also watching this wickedness, this world of wickedness turn into what? Into total righteousness. So on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I hope this lesson was edifying to you. Shalom.